In this video, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a deep dive into the science of making money online and my personal journey of going from negative $80,000 in the red, in the hole, in debt, to creating over $500,000 in revenue. If you're someone who's interested in making money online, creating your online business, and really understanding everything that's involved and what to realistically expect on your journey, you're not gonna wanna click off this video. Now on this channel, I have hundreds of videos talking about how to make money and how to create revenue. But what's not highlighted typically on this channel or in this industry in general is the struggle, and not highlighting what it really takes to achieve the online revenue or just revenue period that you are trying to produce. And so this is the inspiration of today's video, because without pulling back the curtain and showing the real journey, this conception of making money online, creating a lifestyle business, creating a business that works for you is looking rather easy, and it is not. So today, let's dive into the story of going from $80,000 in debt all the way to a multiple six-figure online business and where I am today. Okay, now, so to properly start this story, let's take the time machine back to 2017. Back when I actually had my last 9-to-5 jobs of my life. So I had actually my career, so a career as a civil engineer, working for the government, the Department of Transportation. And then after that, I went from that job to like a 3-month, they call it entrepreneur job, working at this company. It was a startup company called TUBEBUDDY. So I'll touch a little bit on both. The first quarter of 2017 is when I had actually freshly graduated from Arizona State University, and I even got my master's degree. I got my master's in construction engineering. Everybody was like,
oh great, now she's gonna do big career moves.
But deep down inside, I had my own plan to really not get out of my career as fast as possible and start my own thing and my own business online. I had this confidence like no other. Like, I'm not sure where this confidence came from, because when I ask other entrepreneurs and other people their story of, in the beginning and when they were just in general, they seemed a lot more conservative and they had more of a plan and they had more money saved up. Me, I was like, yes, we're gonna get it. We are gonna, I'm gonna crush this. I'm gonna make 6 figures in the first 90 days of my business. And I just had this crazy confidence, okay? I knew I was meant for more. I knew that I wanted to get out of my cubicle and 9-to-5 life as fast as possible. And let me just say that, I should make another video about this, but my 9-to-5, my government job taught me a lot. I mean, I was a bridge engineer for 7 years. And so there I was, a bridge engineer at the top of my game. I had moved up really fast with the different positions with the US government. And I was making $75,000 a year, which was very respectable at the time. I mean, I was in my mid-20s, and I had the ability to, increase my salary from there. But I just had this dying urge to leave, and I definitely left my job and quit that job way too fast. And so that leads me to about March of 2017, when I left the government and actually went to this company called TUBEBUDDY, where this guy named Chris Record and Jim Piccolo were the founders of TUBEBUDDY. And it's weird because if that's just I can make a whole video about just this experience. It was crazy. TUBEBUDDY wanted to be this college for internet marketing, and they wanted to teach e-commerce, like Shopify, drop shipping, and starting your e-commerce brand. And it started out as the most amazing new startup, revolutionary, all this stuff. And I got hired there, so I went from $75,000 to getting an internship. I forgot, entrepreneur, I forget the name, entrepreneur. Ugh, I hate that name now. Anyways, but it just, the salary was $24,000 a year, which was nothing, right? And so I was making it felt like less than minimum wage what I was taking home. But I did it because I was learning everything Facebook ads, I was learning everything about branding stores, about marketing online, and I learned a lot. I can't lie, I learned a lot. However, it was horrible. I mean, they treated us like shit. They would make us work sometimes for free because we'd have these events and we'd have to help get to work extra early. And it's just basically the founders of Techademics had their own agenda, and they went bankrupt really quickly because they made some stupid decisions and they pissed a bunch of customers off. Anyways, so that was that. I was still in Scottsdale, Arizona, or Arizona at the time. And so basically the rest of around June of 2017 is when I was like, you know what, I'm so done with Techademics, and I'm proud to say that I was the first to leave. Like, I went to my supervisor, and who was an asshole. If he's watching this, you're an asshole. What was his name? I don't even remember, but I looked at my resignation letter the other day and I was like, sucker. But I was the first one to quit, and I was pretty proud of that. So I quit, and I was free of the 9-to-5 forever. And I stuck with ecom because I learned and got really good at ecom, and that's what I stuck with for my first business model. I had my own Shopify store. I actually had 3 during that whole kind of 2017 into 2018, but that is where kind of 2017 left off, was me trying to scale my ecom stores and then going into Q4 of that year. And this is also the year 2017 of when my major debt began, and when I really started to rack up those tens and thousands of dollars of credit card debt. And let me explain once we jump into the next year, 2018, the year of me being a digital nomad and ending my ecom short-lived business. All right, so now we have entered 2018, the year of whoa. So imagine this, the beginning of 2018, January 2nd, I booked a one-way flight from Arizona to Thailand with an ex-boyfriend I was dating at the time. I remember the one-way ticket to Thailand, I can't make this up, it was like $197 plus tax, like $219. It was really cheap. We decided that we wanted to start traveling the world, and this was one of my main goals, and my whole reasoning for wanting to own a business is to be able to travel and make money. But at the beginning of 2018, I had racked up this giant bill of debt. Like, it was just like line item, $10,000 in useless coaching, $15,000 in Facebook ads that were questionable, $9,000 in buying products for your just so much stuff, right? And it was around, like, credit cards were maxed out. It was just so many things that I had done, and so many mistakes, so many financial mistakes made in 2017. Credit, when I first left my 9-to-5 job, it was like, $750, whatever, is really good. Then at the start of 2018, banks were shutting me down. I was getting these notices in the mail like, "Dear Marissa, your credit sucks. We don't want you. Goodbye." So that was really hard, because in the beginning of 2018 is when I thought, you know what, my ecom business kind of sucks, and Facebook ads are going up, and it was very, very difficult. And ecom businesses are very difficult. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of fulfillment involved. There's customer service. There's searching for new products. There's running Facebook ads. There's updating the store branding. There's so much stuff, right? And I was like, man, I really don't want to be doing this. And I felt stuck, because I was like, well, this is the only thing I'm doing. I had all my eggs in one basket with ecom, which obviously I should have never done, but that's just was my journey back then. So here I was in Thailand, this brand new foreign country, and I was like, okay, well, and the other thing on the added list of worst financial mistakes was my retirement account that I had from my civil engineering career. I cashed it out, and people were like,
"What do you mean you cashed it out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I cashed it out." And they're like, "Well, where is it?" And I'm like, "God, I spent the money." And they're like, "What?"
And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I realized that. Like, old Marissa, I'm looking at you like you're an idiot. Why'd you do that?" But it's just what happened, okay? People make mistakes. This is my journey and how I went from way negative to where I am now. So another thing to add to the list of huge freaking financial mistakes is, if you're leaving your 9-to-5, do not cash out your retirement account. Transfer it to another retirement account, put it into a brokerage account, do something, hold on to it, do not let it go. And so here we still are in 2018. Times are rough, man. I mean, my rent was less than $200 a month. I was living the most frugal lifestyle I'd ever lived. I mean, my expenses with food and everything were probably less than $600 a month. I mean, that's probably on the high side because everything in Thailand was very, very, very cheap. I mean, we could eat on the street for just a couple bucks. And, you know, groceries were just everything in Thailand is like a tenth of the cost that it is here in the US. So, you know, that was in my favor for sure at the time. But during that time, I was doing anything I could to get by. I mean, I still had a lot of e-commerce skill sets. So the way I made like some money and some income was people were hiring me for coaching. At that time, I was charging $150 an hour. I didn't have that many clients, you know, to be honest. I, you know, probably had like 2 or 3. And then I had another client who wanted me to help him with Facebook ads. And I think I was making like $600 a month from one client. And so I was just barely hanging on, right? And just depleting my savings, my retirement account money, just anything to survive. It was very, very extremely scary. It was just a situation where once we got to the Q2 of 2018, by this time, I had moved to Bali, Indonesia. At this time, I was like, oh crap, dude, I need to make something consistent, something work, or else I'm going to be in big trouble. I'm going to have to get a job here in Thailand or try to find a way to make it back to the States and get a job back to the States. Like I was crying like a lot. Like I was stressed. I was working maybe 15-hour days just on stuff that wasn't doing anything for, you know, this business that I was trying to build. I was definitely a wantrepreneur, and that's a lot of what 2018 was for me, was struggling. Okay. At least the first half, because, you know, in April of 2018, that's when I started this YouTube channel. Back in the day, I started it because I had to make money. Okay, I had to make money, and so I was, you know, watching other people on YouTube, and I was like, okay, you know, I think I could do it. Other people are doing it and being successful, and I would think like, how are they making money on YouTube? And I knew I was meant to do it because in Bali we had these meetups at what was that place called? Oh man, I don't remember the name, but it was a co-working. It was a really neat co-working, and every week there'd be different speakers in the co-working. And one week this guy was speaking, and he was like, how to make money on YouTube. And I was like fascinated. My mind was blown, and I'm like, whoa, like, yeah, like he's like, this is what I want to do. So I was like paying a close attention to his presentation. And this guy at the time only had 8,000 subscribers. And he was talking about how he was making almost $10,000 a month. And that like blew my mind. I'm like, how is that even possible? Cause you know, that's not a very big channel. I'm like, that could be me. And so that's when, you know, the whole YouTube thing I just went hard. Like I went hard. I didn't care about anything else. I was posting a video every single day. It was the, you know, really low resolution production, just not looking good. However, I was happy, because I didn't care. Like literally I used, this webcam right here. This webcam, can't really get over here. It was a webcam that I had bought to make videos, but this 1080p webcam was what I started with. Also the built-in webcam in my old laptop, which was super pixelated. And I had no fancy camera. I had no 4K camera like I do now. I didn't even have a light. Like I used window light, and it showed. A lot of my videos are very dark. Anyways, so the whole point of that is it was do or die, and it had to happen, and I did. You know, that's why I'm here today saying that it did eventually happen. But it definitely took some time. And so on that note, if you are wanting to download my Subscribers to Sales Blueprint, which talks about how to build an online business and the 6 steps to creating revenue and creating an online business leveraging the YouTube platform, go ahead and download, I think it's up here, my Subscribers to Sales Blueprint. And I'll leave the first link in the description for you to check that out after this video. So then as 2018 went on, basically online business wise, I kind of started to have like I would say a breakthrough. Like I had my first, like I could finally breathe because I started to make affiliate marketing commissions. I remember my first commission was $33.50. Then after that, I got monetized for the YouTube partnership program because I was posting so much and the algorithm was sending me more and more and more views. And then, so I got monetized for that just 2.5 months after I had started the channel. And then about 3.5, 4 months after that, I made my first $1,000 commission online. And I was just like, oh my God, like, whoa, this is cool. And so at the end of 2018, I was making I had made my first $10,000 month. I remember back in October of 2018 is when I made a $13,000 month. And I was just like, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Like I, for once, can breathe. And I just felt like I was finally on the path to success and that I could actually, rent an apartment for more than $500 a month. And then, so yeah, at, 2018, I'm still digital nomading. I went from Southeast Asia, ended the year in Medellin, Colombia. Then now that leads us into the year of 2019. So into 2019, I just continued with affiliate marketing. I talked a lot about that on my channel, affiliate marketing, even some e-com stuff. And e-com was definitely not my passion anymore. So I actually quit talking about e-com on the channel. And I actually, for those of you who have this question, I get this a lot, like, can you hide or unlist videos that are on your channel that aren't really relevant to what you're doing anymore? The answer is yeah, because that's exactly what I did. I did not want to talk about e-com anymore. I didn't want to attract that type of audience. So I went back and I hid or unlisted all of my e-com videos. So into 2019, I started to make consistent revenue for once. I still had this pile of debt that I was paying off, the credit card debt, student loans. I was trying to get my credit score back up. And so I did pay off some of it, not all of it. And I still did not have what we call an emergency fund. An emergency fund is basically liquid cash in the bank where you're able to access it at any time. So this emergency fund should be a big enough amount where you could survive without it. And you can survive anywhere from minimum 3 months, but it's better to build it up all the way to 9 months if possible. So you could survive 9 months if, if you quit your job or you just lost your income, you could have an emergency fund to survive. So I didn't have that when I quit my 9-to-5. And so 2019, I still didn't have that. I was just still paying bills. Any money that I made, I would pay bills. I'd reinvest it back into the business. Or what else would I do with that money? Yeah, pretty much that. I was just paying off debt and reinvesting it back into the business. And like I said, I didn't have to live in these tiny little apartments anymore. I could finally, afford a space that was bigger where I could just enjoy the space I was living in because I was working from home back when it was, wasn't as popular to work from home before the COVID-19 pandemic. Anyway, so that was 2019. It was kind of coasting, consistent. Also in 2019, I realized that I was heavily relying on affiliate marketing and I didn't like it that much. Or I meant I didn't like the fact that I was relying so heavily on affiliate marketing because affiliate marketing is a beautiful thing and I will always for the rest of my life do affiliate marketing. But I realized that you are not in control of the affiliate product. And so it hit me around the middle of 2019 where I'm like, you know what? I really want to start creating my own product and selling my own education and, creating that passive income stream because it felt like that was the next step for me to really have a high impact and make higher income and to, be, fulfilled and directly helping people with what I know. So that's when 2019, I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. So I started to lean away from affiliate marketing. And because of that, my income dropped. And so I was back to even though my income dropped, I believed in the product that I was going to create. Okay. So then that sums up 2019. Now we are going into 2020 and we all know what happened in 2020. So here we are in 2020, and it started off as an amazing year. I had a lot of momentum. My course was almost done, and I was getting ready to relaunch it. I had done like a beta coaching program for my current Subscribers to Sales course, and I just wanted to do a one-on-one style group coaching program. It was a small, intimate group of like 5 to 6 people, and I really enjoyed it because I was able to learn a lot from them. And as I delivered the content, I was able to package that up and basically offer it as an evergreen course. And so I was, going into January. So yeah, ending Q1, I was like, I have all the momentum. I'm going to launch this thing. And then on March 8th, 2020, we all know what happened. My YouTube channel of 91,000 subscribers was hacked and deleted. That's right. It was hacked and deleted. And I'm like, oh my God. Like this point in my whole story was definitely one that can't be ignored. It was tragic. It was emotional. My whole entire online business was gone overnight. I have a whole documentary and story about what happened, how it was hacked and deleted, who did it, the outcome of the story. But basically that was hard. I mean, it was a month of just depression, and I was so sad, and I just freaking sad. It was tragic for me. So I learned a lot during that time, and that, I'll leave the link below to the full story of being hacked and deleted, but man, it was crazy. So that definitely changed things for 2020. The good news is later, a couple of months after that, I finally launched my online course, and that just was a whole new game changer in my business and just with everything, and the whole outlook of, the vision I had for what is now my company. What is now who are now the students that I serve, and the new product that it is. And that in May of 2020 is when I launched Subscribers to Sales, which is our membership training program that helps go-getter entrepreneurs or early stage entrepreneurs, like when I was back in 2017, really start a high impact, high income online business leveraging the YouTube platform. That's my passion. I love teaching it. And so that's basically when my income took another shift from, predominantly affiliate marketing now to course creation and my own products. And it was such a great feeling. And so 2020 ended on a good note. It was the highest revenue year ever. I mean, we made over $200,000 in revenue that year. And things were looking good. The team was growing, and there was a lot of great changes in 2020. So in 2021, the focus was definitely like scaling what we had done in 2020. And so as we move into 2021 from 2020, the great part was I was so satisfied because all that really nasty debt was paid off. And I think at that time, my credit score was above 700 once again. And, it's weird because it's like, credit score, just a side note, it doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. I had a horrible credit score for almost 3 years, and it meant nothing. No one cared. No one talked to me about it. I didn't need a credit score to take out loans. It just was. And now I have good credit, and I'm not even doing anything with it. So unless you're like needing it for a loan to buy a house, or you're needing it for some other capital, it's like, don't let it get you down if you're somebody who doesn't have the best credit. Because I was in that position, and it made me feel like the worst human being ever. And I was not. I was a pretty good human being. So that was fun. So I went into 2021. In 2021, I was able to focus a lot on my personal development in Q1 and 2. I had a personal development and mindset coach who helped me focus on my focus, right? My energy. Where's my energy going? The goal was to feel good a lot. So 2021 was fun because I was able to finally make some investments to help not only the business, but to help me, and to help me really focus in on being a leader, and just not going crazy while doing it, right? So the other thing that happened in 2021 were brand deals. Brand deals, I finally figured out how to negotiate how much my channel was worth. And I think in 2021, I think I made about $25,000 in brand deals. And that may sound, I don't know how that may sound, but let me tell you, that money was the hardest, most difficult money that I made. I mean, brand deals money is not easy, because a lot of times companies just have their own agenda and they want you to do it perfectly, and they have a lot of rules and guidelines, and it takes away a lot of the creator creativity that you put into a video, and you have to just make sure you're checking all the boxes, and it's just crazy. So brand deals happened last year, and honestly this year I just for my sanity to not just worry about, oh, like my channel's over 200,000 subs now, like I need to be doing brand deals. No, like people think it's this glorious form of income, and it's difficult because you get in, sometimes you don't get paid on time, you have to go back and edit videos out, and it's a headache. And so I just think about how if I would have just posted content about all just generating traffic to my company, how much more financially better we would have been off. Because I'll give you an example. One of the most viral videos on my channel is to an affiliate product, and I'm like, man, what if that would have gone to our company and that was to my funnel? Like the revenue and the that we would have created, the lives we would have helped, the YouTube channels that would have been created from them being able to take our membership training. And it's just like, I prefer that money staying inside the company than going elsewhere, where it's like, brand deals are great, affiliate commissions are great, but I truly realized this year in 2022 that that's not the most important thing. It's really just protecting your energy, protecting your focus, because those are the two main important resources that you have week to week. And so going from negative $80,000 to 2021, where we created a positive revenue of over $250,000, I was just like, wow. I was really proud of it. And it's hard to especially in this competitive online world, seeing other creators, business owners, influencers, and their big numbers, they're in the millions, and you're thinking, oh, I should, be further along, but I'm really proud of it. And over the past 3 years, it's something around close to $650,000 in revenue over the past 3 years. And, that's something that I'm incredibly proud of. And, it's fun. It's fun to think about. But definitely the journey was not easy, because there's so many things in 2021 even that happened, just personal life, business, including I had a really bad, ugly breakup with an ex-business partner. And that's a whole nother story that I'm not ready to tell yet, but it was painful. I mean, there's always going to be, I think at the end of the day, what I learned is there's always going to be a situation, something that comes up in your life that's not expected, that's painful, that makes you sad, that makes you have to react. And it's all about but it's all about choosing how you react to it, right? Because what's that quote? I forget his name. It's a quote by somebody that says, 10% of life is what happens to me, and 90% is how I react to it. Okay. And that those words couldn't have been more true this year. And so, anywho, that's my story. And I wanted to break it down and just be real, come out and talk about the struggles that I've been through. And it's impossible to, summarize the past 4 years into a YouTube video, but I wanted to share some insight on how it really is. Thanks so much. If you've made it this far, you are amazing. Don't forget to download the Subscribers to Sales Blueprint. And if you've enjoyed this video, definitely check out the video coming up next. It's about what to do if you are in a dire situation, broke AF, starting from zero, and how to create passive income. So go ahead, click on this video coming up, and we'll see you on the next video.